The Mitsubishi Xpander has been one of the most best-selling 7-seater but compact MPV here in the country. And while there's nothing inherently wrong with that car, it is starting to age and look a little bit old. But thankfully, Mitsubishi Philippines has updated the Mitsubishi Xpander with this 2023 Mitsubishi Xpander GLS. So what exactly has been the changes for the Mitsubishi Xpander? Well, underneath the car, it's still the same chassis, still the same engine, so technically it still is the same car. But on the exterior, take a look, there is the new updated version of Mitsubishi's dynamic shield design, now with a lot of black chrome on it. The DRLs are still rather similar, but if you take a look at the headlights down below, they now have this like T-shape, like a Thor's hammer, more like a Volvo. Down below though, your fog lights are still made out of halogens. On the side, you're looking at two-tone 17-inch rims wrapped in Hankook Ventus Prime 3 tires. Pretty good tires. You have a lot of chrome all over your side mirrors with repeaters as well, and also this chrome that stretches all the way to the back just below your windows. Even your door handles are chrome, and you do also get keyless entry. Plus, you still have this beautiful line that kind of just breaks apart the very MPV look of the Mitsubishi Xpander. Ground clearance for the Mitsubishi Xpander is now at 225 millimeters, which is more than enough for our miniature floods right here. The taillights have also been updated with this T-like design, like a reverse T design on either sides. And down below, if you take a look, this diffuser is still a one-piece design, very contrasting to the Nissan Livina, which this shares a platform with. Open up your tailgate and you will still not see a power tailgate. Nothing wrong with that. In here, space is rather limited if you have the third row seats up. You can probably only put a couple of soft bags in here. Fold down the third row seats and you're looking about 750 liters of space. Fold down that second row and the third row and you're looking at 1,630 liters of space, which is more than enough for anything that you do need to haul. So you must be expecting a completely new powertrain for the Mitsubishi Xpander. Unfortunately, it is still the exact same thing. It still is a 1.5 liter inline-4 gasoline MyVic engine with 104.5 horsepower and 141 newton meters of torque. Is there finally a CVT now? Nope, it still has a conventional 4-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is at 8.5 kilometers per liter in the city and about 14 kilometers per liter on the highway. While the updates on the exterior isn't exactly major, if you do check out the interior, it is a little bit better. Now check the door first, and it sounds about all right. In here, while it's definitely not a very avant-garde style, not at all, at least for 2022 standards, this is more than acceptable. Gone is the old entire plastic dashboard, and instead, while you do have still a lot of plastics in here, there are these two-tone brown soft touch padded materials. Even here on the sides, they are also slightly soft touch, albeit very thin of padding. The steering wheel is also pretty new. It's still a 3-spoke design, but now it is a lot more modern looking with even this mesh part right here by the bottom. Also, for the GLS trim, it is a leather wrap. You have an instrument cluster that is largely unchanged, but here on the center, you have a 7-inch touchscreen, which is rather moderately responsive, but now you do get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, both of which are wired, and your reverse camera is now a lot clearer than ever, although the guiding lines do not move. Unfortunately, one problem with the interior is that they did retain this rather plasticky air vents, which feel kind of cheap. But aside from that, there is a new AC system, which is now digital. You have push start, and most importantly, they have gotten rid of your conventional handbrake, which used to be quite massive, to be honest, and it really did take up a lot of space here by the center. Still piano black though, but now you have an EPB, electronic parking brake, with auto hold. You still get 2 cup holders and also a bottle holder by the side. Plus this center armrest also, by the way, it is also rather soft touch. As for features in the Mitsubishi Xpander, the GLS trim gets 6 speakers inclusive of 2 tweeters, and it is quite standard that you do get 2 airbags in this car, EBD, ABS, and also cruise control for this one. Now what about here on the second row? First we check the door, and it is just like before, it's about okay. Just like before, you do get tons of legroom and also tons of headroom. If you want to see 3 people abreast right here, it can be done, but definitely not for the most long journeys. The floor is rather flat though, so that is a plus. Again, just like before, you do have these pockets right here for your phone, your wallet, and also map pockets on either sides. But now, you do have this soft touch material padding on the side, just like on the front seats. What is rather new here is now you do get this cup holders on the center armrest, which I'm not sure pretty sure you didn't get it before. And you also get a USB-A port and also a USB-C port. As for seating at the third row, it is doable for shorter journeys for smaller adults, and you can even slide these seats forwards to give them a little bit more space. But for longer journeys, it's definitely not the most enjoyable out there. You do get a 12-volt outlet right there at the back though. Unfortunately, you don't get any air vents, so you do have to rely on this rather big blower right here by the second row. So now we drive the 2023 Mitsubishi Xpander in this GLS trim. Just like before, it rides very comfortably. I mean, there is virtually no changes to the engine and the chassis, so it is exactly the same car underneath. And what that means is that it feels exactly the same. This car is only tuned for comfort and comfort alone, so don't expect any sort of handling with the Mitsubishi Xpander. However, there's one thing to note though, that since you are comfort tuned, the way it deals with like speed bumps is pretty good. It doesn't crash. It kind of just soaks it up as you go over a speed bump. So even if you're just alone in the car or there's 7 of you, you're not gonna find this car to be too harsh. And that is always a good thing for cars like this. Next thing is that since it is comfort oriented and it is great for the city, it's very easy to maneuver. The steering is also incredibly light, so for those who don't really want to exert that much effort into steering a vehicle, you will enjoy the Mitsubishi Xpander. What you won't enjoy, however, is the powertrain in this car. While there is absolutely nothing wrong with 104.5 horsepower, as Mitsubishi would say, the problem with this is just like before, the 4-speed automatic transmission will leave you wanting for a little bit more. In the city, there are times where it really kind of want to downshift a little bit more than usual, especially on inclines, but it gets a little bit more apparent on the highway. If you're going to speed limit around 100 kilometers per hour or so, you're going to find yourself having to rev the engine a little bit just to maintain that speed. And the trade-off for that obviously would be decreased fuel economy. So if they really did throw in a CVT into this new Xpander, then I also suppose that you will have much better fuel economy. Next up, visibility in the Xpander is actually pretty good because although your windshield is rather raked, it is pretty big and there are these quarter panels on your window and all around you can see so much out of. Plus the fact that they have vastly improved the reverse camera right now. The older one was like a hit or miss. Either you had the most amazing eyesight in the world or you just have to stare at it pretty closely because not only was it blurry, but it was also dark. But with this one, it's a good camera now. How about the seats inside the Xpander? The seats are rather comfortable. I do find the lumbar support to be just a little bit lacking because, well, there is no lumbar support, but I mean, that is pretty much what you expect from a car at this price point. What about noise, vibration, and harshness? If we're going to talk about harshness, it's pretty good. Noise-wise, in the city, it's fine. On the highway, you can hear a little bit of tire noise, a little bit of wind noise. Nothing too bad. Vibrations-wise, so when you are idling the Xpander, you're gonna find it to just vibrate a little bit. But I mean, it is a 1.5-liter engine, and that is also pretty much what we expect of a 4-cylinder 1.5-liter engine. So overall, not bad as well. One great addition to the Mitsubishi Xpander for this update though is the inclusion of the electronic parking brake and the auto hold function. The electronic parking brake, it really does clear up this center stack, as I said before, but not only that, I found the older parking brake, the manual one in the old Xpander, to be something you really have to yank pretty high, and it was pretty long as well, and pretty girthy as well. But with this one, you just pull the button and you're good. Plus the auto hold function, it's great for incline, so it also kind of semi acts as a hill hold function, so that is quite convenient, especially if you are in inclines or stop and go traffic. Mitsubishi has done it again with their updated Mitsubishi Xpander. They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it, and in that regard, they really did not try to fix something that isn't broken. It still makes a great proposition for anyone looking for a 7-seater compact MPV, and at 1,180,000 pesos, it is incredibly competitive. If there's one thing that I really do hope Mitsubishi Philippines would improve on is to replace that 4-speed automatic transmission with a CVT transmission.